To absolutely nobody's surprise, there's a new bug in The Sims 4, except it's not that new, but you might have only just noticed it. Now, this bug was first reported 5 months ago. I have actually liked it because recently they've been fixing the bugs that have the most amount of likes, apparently, on the forum. That's you saying, hey, I'm also experiencing this. I'm gonna upvote this if you are used to like Reddit terms, so that hopefully this can get fixed. Now, the reason more people are noticing this and the reason that I keep forgetting about it is because it really hasn't been talked about all that much, but pre-made pets and horses are not populating in new saves. Now, the reason this has come up a little bit more recently is, of course, that family tree update. So it actually works that if you hop into an old save and you go into like your family that you've played, they will have a family tree, and it's kind of a retroactive family tree. However, for the townies, they're actually not retroactive. They haven't been fitted in old saves, so you actually have to start a new save to, for example, Mortimer Goth connected to Agnes Crumplebottom, and his elderly family members, Johnny Zest and the Landgrabs, have been fixed, and this is only really happening in new saves. So today I figured I'd show you what this actually looks like in your game, and I guess a quick little fix for some of them. As you saw, this is a completely fresh save, and if we actually scroll down, thankfully, not a lot of houses actually have pets from the get-go. It's predominantly, obviously, horse ranch, and then also the families that came with cats and dogs. So Sienna and Flapjack, he actually still exists currently on their thumbnail, and that kind of goes for everyone. Maya Whiskers is there, but it says currently not in world. Katarina Lynx has her animals. The Heckings still have Rosie. They're the reason I'm recording this video, because the other day I was like, where's Rosie gone? And someone reminded me that this glitch exists. However, if we head on over to, God, there's too many worlds in The Sims 4 these days. Head over to Brindleton Bay. Once you actually hover over the family, Rosie is not there. As you can see, if we go into play, Rosie is not going to be there, which is really, really sad, because to me, Rosie is a staple. She is an icon. She is a legend. She is, in fact, the moment of Brindleton Bay. What do you mean these boys are missing their good dogs, Brent? But I promised you a fix, so I'm going to give you a fix. The first thing you're going to need to do is Control-Shift-C, testing cheats on, hit enter, testing cheats have been enabled, and then you're going to want to do cas.full edit mode. Now, you're going to have to either do this throughout manage worlds and editing, which I'll also show you, or you can hop into, and then once you've inputted that, if you hold shift down as you click on a sim and then modify in create a sim, this is going to take us into create a sim. Usually when I do that in a video, people will be like, you don't need to do like modify and create a sim for this. I just prefer doing it because it opens up like all the options within create a sim, like personalities, relationships, all of that. So I just do it out of pure habit. I think it's the best version of create a sim, but of course we do have the gallery. Well, hopefully we have the gallery, because the gallery and the EA app have also been giving me so many issues recently. They've just like barely been working. But if we hopefully type in hecking here, Flo is going wild on the Fields hecking household right here. Love that. But we are gonna sort by most popular. Usually when you type in hecking, the version that Maxis made comes up. I have the no animals book, so I appreciate you. That's from November. Like I said, this has really only been talked about recently. This one's from October of last year. We are, of course, going to place that household. Now, when you actually place a household, the first two are always going to be like your originals. So we're actually going to delete the copies of Brent and Brent that we don't need. Now we have Rosie back in our family. Everything is right in the world. She is home with her fathers, where she is meant to be. Thank goodness gracious for that. Kind of sad for them, these millennials, that they don't have Rosie tagged as their daughter, because they should. She is their child and she knows it. There you go. That's how you can get the pets back into your families. Hopefully, if your gallery is working all okay, I'm really quickly going to show you how you do this through Manage World. So again, Control-Shift-C, testing cheats on. Again, you probably don't need to do this, but I like doing it. And then full edit mode on. Enter after both of those, and then we are actually going to go to Sienna and Flapjack. Flapjack has been erased from the narrative, and I don't think Flapjack asked to be erased from the narrative. You can go to Manage Households, edit, add, or remove Sims from the household in Create a Sim. Her name is Grove. I'm really hoping that... Okay, let's go most popular, but then let's go households. Oh, a lot of them are like the Groves, her brother and her sister-in-law, and not her. That's Sienna without Flapjack, which is not what we need. Maybe if we just type in Flapjack? Dash of Pineapple has Sienna and Flapjack Maxis Edition. Again, we're going to place that household. We're going to remove the duplicate that exists of Sienna. And now we have the OG Sienna and Flapjack back in the game. Be aware, if you are playing with like neighborhood stories over in the other household tabs, just be sure to move these back into other households if you still want that to like affect them, because technically we have played as them. Hopefully, if we do, and I'm hoping we do, get a fix for this, then it can be patched to like the saves that you have started since the time that this began, and the animals will all be back to normal, but I don't know if that is going to be the case. So if you are bothered by this, if you've noticed a distinct lack of animals within your Sims 4 recently, this is going to be your best bet, I think. I guess it's going to be more difficult for you to create a Maya Whiskers, considering you actually do have to have a sim, I'm fairly sure, look after an animal if you do create a new household. Maya Whiskers. He's by himself in the household currently. Household must contain at least one teen, young adult, or elder sim. So that is unfortunate for the animals who actually live by themselves. I mean, kind of good for those of you who are like me and have never won the lottery in The Sims 4 without maybe cheating or playing to your advantage, and Maya Whiskers steals the millions upon millions of simoleons from you every single time, because right now he's not competition. When I said take out the competition for the lottery, I didn't mean Thanos snap them out of existence. So unfortunately for right now, you're gonna probably have to put him into a family of some sort if you do want Maya Whiskers in your game. But I hope this video was helpful. I also kind of hope it just like raises awareness. I know some people might not see this as like the biggest glitch in the world, and it's definitely not the end of the world, especially considering you can download them from the gallery, like I said, if the gallery is working for you. But I do know that there are a lot of players who aren't like me, who really, really adore cats and dogs and Horse Ranch, and probably are quite disappointed that these animals currently aren't in their saves. One thing to note is, if your gallery is messing up right now, if you can't connect, if it's just unstable, or if you just straight up can't find any of these households and their animals on there, you could go into one of your old saves that you know you started before this glitch happened, where these households do actually have their animals. Go into Create a Sim, save them to your library, because your library should still work even if your gallery is being a little bit iffy with connectivity, and then you could just find them on your library in the new save and download them from there and add them to your family and edit it the same way that we did in this video. If you have any questions about any of this, please do not hesitate to leave them down below. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.